Hey everybody, I'm Rosie, and Jason's with me. And nice, you look like Aslan the caterpillar. We have a special guest, and it was very last minute, and he was awesome and totally agreed to do a last minute interview. I'm so grateful because sometimes we have cancellations or things we have to move around. The lady that was going to be on tonight lives in Wales, and it would have been 4 in the morning there, 2 in the morning there, or something like that.
Wow.
I have kids that I have to put in bed. And I was like, totally understand that. So we had to move stuff around. So,
That's wild. Well, I'm in Chicago. I'm here in Chicago. But I'm also, you have Jason here and you're Rosie, but I'm also a Jason in a way, you know. I'm sure some of your viewers may know that. But I do have a lot of interesting involvement with the spirit world and the paranormal in general. So I look forward to discussing that tonight.
Oh, that is awesome. I figured you probably did because usually people that are artistic and they have to use their emotions to do their job, they usually get connected with by some kind of spirit or some kind of, like supernatural entity or whatever.
It's interesting you say emotions too, because that is my connection to our ancestors and others who just happen not to be alive anymore. I have nothing against dead people. There's a lot of, well, practically all my ancestors are not alive anymore. So,
yeah,
if I want to talk to them, I gotta get over that. That
just tap into that.
Yeah.
Openness.
But also, but I want to hear more about what you all are doing and any questions that you might have about Friday the 13th and all the wonderful things that it entails as well. I'm fully open to any questions. Maybe we should start with that. Like whatever questions you all had.
My first question is, and this is going to sound dumb, but I thought I had met you with Jason because I go to horror cons too, but I didn't go to the one where he met you. So, okay. How do you pronounce your first name?
My first name is Ari. Thank you for asking.
That's what I thought. Ari. For what?
Well, it is kind of different, but yeah, my name's Ari Lehman. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I am indeed the first Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the boy in the lake Jason. Okay, that's who I am. I'm the first one ever. You couldn't go before me. That would be like 0.5 Jason, which doesn't.
In utero?
Exactly.
Jason in utero, the new chapter before Jason.
Yeah.
Before Jason was born.
That's long before.
Or past life Jason.
So, but I am honored to have played that role. Of course, now there's 15 or more actors who have played Big Jason, hockey mask Jason. But of course, I'm the only boy in the lake Jason. Well, I'm actually no. I correct myself. There are remakes and sequels where the same character was portrayed. But in the first Friday the 13th, I'm the only actor who plays Jason Voorhees, and that's the movie from 1980 that starred Betsy Palmer as Pamela Voorhees, and she was a really spiritual lady. One thing that, yeah, she was really cool. If anybody's out there has gotten to meet Betsy, you would know she was just amazing with the fans, and she just had an ability to relate to people that was just
connecting, like an ability to connect really well with individuals, each person.
Absolutely. She would bring the best out of each individual. She was a Scorpio. Yeah. Okay. She was a Scorpio. She was born November 1st, which now she played my mom in Friday the 13th. She shared the same birth date as my mom, Rita Lehman.
Oh, wow, that's weird.
Both of them Scorpios. obviously. And, she had this just an amazing ability to relate to people and bring out the best in them. And like the first time I ever met Betsy, was at a big horror convention in New Jersey. It was Chiller Theater Fangoria. It was at the Meadowlands, and there was thousands of people there. And so I didn't meet her on the set of Friday the 13th. So I went into this room, and there's Betsy Palmer, in her sweater and everything, and there she is. And so I just went across, and this tells you so much about her. I walked across there. Yeah, what an amazing actress and human being. Yes, exactly. And this will tell you so much about her. I walked across, I just went, Mom. And I went, and she gave me this big hug. She just hugged me. And then she put her hands on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. She pushed me back, looked me right in the eyes, and she said, "Now, who the fuck are you?" I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to use that, but that's what she said. She might have said hell.
But not a lot, because we had one person
I think she said that. She didn't even know.
PG-13. Sometimes it slips out.
She didn't know who I was. She didn't know that I was the boy Jason, but still, she gave me this hug like she was my mom.
Like she was your spirit mom.
Yeah. Then I said to her who I was, and then she, give me another hug, And in fact, we became good friends. Both of us being vegetarians. A lot of the time, we'd be there with some of the big Jason guys like Kane and CJ and all that. We're going to go get some steaks now. And she and I would go off and get Italian food and share a bottle of wine. Yeah, she could tell stories that would make people just laugh so hard, like they would fall out of their chair. I would come out, like all metal-y, Mr. Metal, and then she would come out and start making dirty jokes, like, dude. I would turn bright red, and she was, "What's the matter, Ari?" So she was incredible. But,
she made you blush.
She made me blush all the time. She was the best. But she was a person who people just loved and had that amazing ability. So I think that now she got her wings. Wow, I guess it's 5 or 6 years ago. But I feel like I still talk to her, and I feel like I feel like she still gives me a lot of energy. And she really took me under her wing. In fact, at the beginning, she wouldn't accept any other Jason. She was like, "Only Ari and Jason." These other guys. It even bothered Kane a little bit, and I said, "No, stop. They're Jason. They are Jason too." But what a
they're the reborn Jason. They're the reincarnation.
Well, there you go. I think that Jason Voorhees is a unique horror character, if you will, probably brought back to life more than anything by the fans themselves. The fans demand for more Jason. But and Friday the 13th and Jason fans are the most wonderful, dedicated people. But there is another element. Some horror movies have a very direct occult vibe. And we were coming out of that in 1980 when I did Friday the 13th as a little boy. There was The Exorcist, there was Damien, there was Rosemary's Baby, for goodness sakes. I mean, you think about the level of those and how occult.
Rosemary's Baby, and Exorcist.
very occult and female driven. Very female driven.
Yeah.
Occult and very about the underworld and about sin and damnation. But
I was going to say in religion, like Christianity and religion.
Yes. But see, then there was a break there because there was Jaws. Okay. Jaws just flipped the script and reminded us how much we love a monster. Not that that's not
a great movie.
Yeah, and there's an elemental, there's like a water elemental thing going on. There's all kinds of things going on there. It's not to say it's not, sometimes if something's so overtly about the occult, it's not as powerful as something that isn't directly like that. And I think that Friday the 13th, especially as time passed, took on certain elements, first of all, Jason is not an evil, scheming character, and neither was his mom, really. It's about a righteous vengeance gone horribly awry. It's a vengeance ghost, if you will, because he comes back to life every time.
It is. He is a ghost. Because he died and he was alive again.
Yeah.
So either that or a zombie, which is still paranormal. Zombies are paranormal too. So
exactly, he's undead in some form. It reminds me of these great, Viking myths of these undead warriors who walk the earth, an unrequited vengeance that they have to keep, fighting after, but never find, But I think that in particular, Friday the 13th, has that element. And when I was a kid, okay, they had me play the role. They said, "Can you swim?" I said, "I can swim." They said, "Okay, come on down." And the first scene we did, I just drowned. I drowned, and that was it. And I went back home. I kind of imitated Jaws eating me. I was like,
Yeah.
which was a thing back then. But then I went back home and said, okay, I was a kid who drowned in a movie. That's probably it for my movie career. But
little did you know how big that Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees would get.
Well, but see, herein is the thing, is that I went home in August of 1979, but they called me up in October of 1979. See, there's two moments. I'm in the drowning sequence, and then in the final scene where you think it's all over. You think it's all over. I'll refresh your memory. There's a girl in a boat sitting on the lake there, and you think the movie's over. She's the sole survivor. She's just cut my mom's head off.
Yeah.
So they said to me, leaving you hanging, they said to me, "Ari, we need you to come back to the set." And I said, now, how can I go back to the set? My character's dead. I drowned. And see, this is where there's a lot of controversy. Because he said to me on the phone, "You get your revenge." And I was like, wow. So I went back to the set. But then here's the controversy. They handed me the script, and it said, "Alice's dream." So in other words, Jason coming back was a dream sequence. It wasn't real. And I got upset at that. I said to Tom Savini and Sean Cunningham and everybody, "No, it's real. She killed my mom, and I've reanimated, just like Swamp Thing or the X-Men or something like that." And they said, no, it's a dream. You see in the script, Jason is a dream. So in their minds, there would never have been a big Jason. That never would have happened. They just saw him as a figment of Alice's dream.
Like a nightmare or a PTSD moment, or reliving a moment or something.
But so he says to me, okay, when we're doing the scene, he says to me, "Ari, the cameras are rolling. Go out in the water, and you're not going to be able to hear me say action." So he says, "You're the director." And I thought, whoa, I was a kid. So I go out in the water, and of course, all I'm thinking is, I'm the director. I'm the director. I'm the director.
Yeah.
So I go underwater because I'm a kid, and you see what a great director Sean Cunningham is. So I go in the water. He didn't give me any choreography or et cetera, et cetera. He knew I would know what to do. So I went under the water, and I just thought, bitch killed my mom. I just grabbed her. I was like, wham! And the thing is, they didn't tell the wonderful actress Adrienne King, who played Alice Hardy so magnificently. They didn't tell her that I was about to jump out. They didn't tell Tom Savini.
Oh, so they wanted her to really be scared.
Yeah, they whispered it in my ear. So I went out and I jumped on the poor gal. She grabs my arms the first take. What? Ah! She tumbles out of the front of the boat. But see, now they edited it. They had me do a second take, and they edited it so that they surrounded the first take where she's genuinely scared with a second take where I'm doing this whole thing. So, you guys can see that on GIF technology today. But yeah. So, and again, so was that real? See, in my opinion, it's here we're transcending, the borderline of reality and the spirit world, I mean,
Yeah.
and who's to say that dreams aren't real anyway? I mean, I don't.
Yeah. I've done dream studies, and a lot of things that I've had, like I had a psychology teacher in high school, and he taught me to write down and log all of my dreams when I woke up, like immediately, because you'll forget them throughout the day. And I did that, and I actually had gone back and I lost the journal. And I went back like a year or two later, and half of that crap had came true.
Mm.
It was weird.
No, yeah, dreams are very predictive. Yeah. I think that's a whole
Almost
reality.
like your higher self is like awake when you're asleep, and it's living in your head or in your dreams, and then you wake up and your regular conscious body self is awake, is there.
Yeah, I think certain, like, okay, our body is asleep, and then maybe a certain part, like maybe our etheric body is also asleep, but I think that your astral body and your ego, when you dream, that just goes to the next place. That's why sometimes if you wake up in the middle of the night, it's just your body and your etheric body, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, or you're in like sleep paralysis, or you're just kind of like, I don't know, kind of like almost like you're dumb for a second. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like, what the? And then you
what you said, like, what the heck's going on?
So talk a little bit about the process of how you were chosen to be the young Jason and how that.
Well, it's nice of you to say chosen, because I was probably chosen because of my height and my eagerness to participate and my capacity to swim. But prior to that, now, Jason, I was in a movie that you've probably never seen. It was a comedy about a ragtag bunch of orphans that win their orphanage back from the mob in a soccer tournament, okay? And it was called Manny's Orphans. And I had landed the role of Roger, the girl-obsessed kid, which is an 80-line role, okay, by sneaking in to an audition at the YMCA in Westport. Yeah. Some of my buddies had been in one of their movies before, said, oh, they got a role that's perfect for you, and you love soccer, and, so, but I was kind of like, it was kind of like a Danny Partridge kind of role, It was kind of that, or is that, you guys know
funny.
You're too young to know Danny Partridge. You know Danny Partridge?
Yeah.
It's kind of the, the kid in the Goonies, who does the truffle shuffle. That kid.
Oh my gosh.
It was like
exactly what you're talking about.
But I was happy to be that sidekick role, and I had a lot of fun, and it was a great little movie. But they said, I guess the production team said, look, Sean, we need a horror movie. No one cares about soccer in 1978, 79. So there was no soccer ball. So that is how Friday the 13th actually came into being, because the following summer he had to come up with a new movie, and that movie is Friday the 13th.
Instead of a slaughter camp, instead of a soccer movie, it's a slaughter camp.
Yeah, he wanted to do a comedy. He wanted to do Sean Cunningham, in his heart, did not want to keep going into horror, as we could see today, because recently his most recent movie is a rom-com about a piano teacher, but yeah, that's what happened. They said to him, "Well, give us." Very often in Hollywood, when you submit a project, they'll say, "Oh, okay, that one's okay. What else you got?" Just because it's all part of the same contract, and they want to give them the same contract. So they'll say,
"Is it because they want multiple choices, or is it because they want the wow factor constantly?" Or
it's all about the investors and who knows what's hot today and what's not, and da da da. And to tell you the truth, and this at the time there was a lot of doubt that Friday the 13th, like Sean thought it was going to flop so much that he basically sold the rights of the first movie to Steve Miner, who went on to produce part 2, part 3, and then Sean comes back in part 4. Although, the whole time he has ownership over the the situation and all that stuff. What do they call it? The storyline, basically. But yeah, so he didn't know. So when it became so fantastically popular, he was like, wow, and got back in. It's all about
I was going to try to share that on your page, but I couldn't. I think because we're not friends or whatever. I was going to try to stream it onto your page so that your people could see it and then they could, interact or whatever, but I can't share it.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I tried to do it. I don't know. The internet was doing weird things. It's all the solar activity.
So Friday the 13th
it's aliens that are coming in. They're letting us know.
So Friday the 13th had like a $500 and something $1,000 budget around there, I guess it was.
Yeah, I have done the research on that before. It had I don't even know if it was that much. Maybe it was. I don't think it was 500,000. I think it was way lower than that. I'm sure somebody could look it up. I don't have my phone next to me, but
I think it went on. What I read was it went on to make 60 million or right at 58 million or something.
That's correct. Yes. So it was. It definitely made a lot more than anybody ever thought it would. And again, who knows what that is? That's the fans just having a good time and wanting to scare each other at the end, and bringing other fans and saying, "Oh, don't tell them about the little boy who jumps up at the end."
Yeah. Right.
It was.
I think, like you were saying though, he never died, and he's still alive in the hearts of all of the fans of Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees. Because we're me and Jason are actually really, really, really big fans of Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th.
Thank you. That's an honor, and we're very fortunate. But I think that it has to do with that story. It's the mom thing. Mm-hmm. It's what is it all about? It's a certain thing where people can relate to Jason.
Yep.
Although they know that he's an evil monster, but there's a thread of thought there that they can relate to about,
his relationship with the mom and what happened in his past and how he became the monster that was Jason.
Yeah. And the mom defending her loved ones against all odds to any limit, Yeah. That's spiritual.
You think about, Jason being the good guy or the bad guy. It depends on how you see it, but that would bring it into, the Freddie versus Jason. What do you think about that? And who do you think actually would win that fight?
Well, come on now. Freddie's is a dream. Freddie exists entirely in the dream world. And he can only get you in the dream world, but Jason is real. Jason is concrete. Jason is,
and he can't die.
And he can't die. Exactly. He's matter. So maybe he's matter and Freddie is energy, because Freddie's all about that. I always thought Freddie was so. I was never afraid of Freddie. He's just annoying.
Then he said, "Jason is a badass."
As a kid, I thought, what is this Freddie? He's going to annoy you to death? And I thought about Chucky too. You know, Chucky.
Jason. Jason was saying something.
Jason is a badass. That's right. So
yeah, Chucky's creepy when you're a little kid, but I don't feel like when you get older he's a scary. But to me, as you grew, Jason grew with you, and he still stayed scary. Yeah. That's what I felt like.
Well, dolls, puppets, that is creepy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those.
Yeah,
and hate dolls too.
You know.
Yeah, no. But I always thought that you know, why don't you just turn around and field goal Chucky? You know, he's 3 feet tall. Just kick it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, you have a metal band, First Jason. And I was thinking about that, just lining up Chucky dolls, you know, just in the front of the stage, kind of kick them out to the audience. But I will say that my good friend Alex Vincent played the Andy character on in the entire series, and he's a fantastic buddy of mine. But he doesn't like Chucky either. he hates Chucky.
Someone asked if you would still be interested in acting.
Well, sure. Well, thank you for asking. In fact, there's a movie coming out this year. I did a movie called The Barn, which is a great independent horror movie you could check out. So they're just releasing The Barn 2, and I play this character, Dr. Rock, in The Barn. I've also been in a bunch of movies like Clown Motel, Terror Overload, Tales from Satan's Truck Stop.
Oh my god!
Movies like that.
Cool. It kind of reminds me of the Grindhouse, like independent horror movies. Yeah,
I'm all about chewing up the scenery and being one of those wildly crazy characters. Yeah, I play Sycan the Clown in
Jason's best.
Clown Motel. But there's a lot of fun independent horror films that I've been in, and that is largely because of my connections. Meeting people on the horror scene, and then they're friends of mine, and they're making a horror movie, and they say, "Come on, Ari, be a part of it." So, they write me a character or something. But in fact, I'm also going out west in less than a week. I'm going to be in another movie called Appetite for Sin, where I play Larry.
That's a cool name, actually. Mortician?
Yeah. That's cool. I'm going to play a mortician who has some encounters with vampires. That's why.
Wow, that's awesome. I love me some vampires. Yeah. See, you're all wrapped
up a lot of that kind of stuff. I like doing. Well, I love doing independent horror films because it's so much fun, and it doesn't have all the political machinations of Hollywood, which are really repulsive to me. It's not something that I really want to be a part of. And I'm so happy to be primarily a musician, because on the music scene, we have so much camaraderie and bands really trying to help each other. And, of course, there's healthy competition. We all try to blow each other off the stage, but at the same time, we're always, if I'm going through a town or someone's coming through Chicago, I'm going to help them get a job. We're going to help each other. And, I wish actors were more like that, but they're not.
Yeah. That seems like it's very competitive in the acting world.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It really is. Unfairly. I got really lucky by being in Friday the 13th. It was great fortune, and who knows what sort of other elements go into play with that when we roll the dice, as it were. But I also was blessed to recognize where my heart lies as at an early age. I started playing jazz piano, and so I got really good at that. And people were like, I was actually being hired to do all kinds of studio work and professional work and playing at country clubs and everything. And and I was drafted up to Bridgeport, Connecticut University to be in their jazz band. And finally then I went to study jazz in New York City, because, everybody went to Berkeley, which was in Boston, which I thought was cool, but jazz was still happening at that time. So I was in the dorm room, and like I would go downstairs in that dorm room, and they just go down to, and we were on Broadway in New York City. I could go and see Hank Jones and Sorrel and Hannah and just Barry Harrison. Just forget about it. I mean, all day long, I was listening to some of the greatest piano players and George Coleman, saxophone players, and these guys were alive, and Art Blakey and people like that were actually doing master classes at New York University, where I went to school. So I dug that. But then what happened was jazz took a turn. It took that like Kenny G turn. And I was into like jazz. Jazz
is good. Blues. I like blues too. I'm a big fan of blues.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of blues in First Jason, but people saw my hair and they'd say Kenny G, and I was like, I'm into all this crazy stuff. I want to be into this weird jazz. They was like, no, Kenny G. And there's also like the Wynton Marsalis thing going down, which was cool. So I could have become a jazz educator, but I didn't want to do that. So I started working in world music, which was very popular at the time. I started working in reggae and African music. I even got to travel to West Africa as a member of a famous African band, and that was an amazing experience for me. So yeah, I mean, you talk about spiritual music and learning about how spirituality and like
connections from across the world.
Yeah, I mean, because they have the tradition. Of course, you probably heard a lot about Santeria. Santeria being the tradition we get in salsa music, and you're talking about Shango and Yemaya and Oshun and Olokun, and those gods are also part of Ifa. Now, Ifa is from West Africa. So the people that I was playing with in these bands, some of them were very, very knowledgeable about that religion, and I learned so much about it. For instance, if some people were wearing a certain colors of clothing and playing a certain beat, then you would know, okay, they're worshipers of Ogun. I'm saying you would know immediately just from what the music they were playing and how they were dressed, you would know they were worshipers of Yemoya. It's incredible. So a lot of the things that we do with music, it's different. Although we're identifying, but they're identifying on such a level that
it's tribal, kind of tribal.
Yeah. And spiritual. I remember I was in Central Park one time, and it was like twilight, and I was privileged to be near this drumming circle of like high priests of this, Ifa and Santeria, and they were all just, for them, they were just having a good time. But I just remember the feeling and something happened with the water, the wind on the water, and the chanting, and just, oh my God, it was so, I saw a lot of, right there in Central Park. And, I got very interested in learning about Santeria and Ifa. But see, personally now, my own background is that I'm Jewish. So I came up from studying Kabbalah and studying, astrology and studying, that side of the thing. So, there's only so far you can go you're in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Wow. There's only
there's
so
a lady.
You can go, like they were welcoming to me. Do you know what I'm saying? These were these higher level priests,
I know what you're saying.
They were welcoming, wanting to understand, but they also told me that there's certain limits, because the belief systems are so different. There's things that I couldn't actually talk about right now, on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I have a kid that was crying in the background. He didn't
Oh,
want to go
that's
to bed.
beautiful. Well, I don't want anyone to judge anyone, but the thing is the closer you get to those things, there's limits. That's all I'm saying. I learned a lot and then realized, okay, I don't want to go too far. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pretty intense. Yeah, it's very intense.
Since we'll take a break from the Jason thing for a second, and just talk about your music and your band and what that's all about.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a good segue. So I was doing world music, and I actually was trying to do like a reggae band of my own and stuff. And I moved to Chicago with my beautiful wife, Elaine, which is where I am now. And she had met me while I was performing with an African band in Chicago. And then, I was in Chicago one day, and I got a letter from a horror fan. And it said, "Did you autograph this photograph?" And I said, "What?" And they said, "Did you autograph this photo?" I said, "Well," and they're like, "Aren't you Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I haven't autographed any photos." And so it turned out somebody was forging my autograph on these photos. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I found out who it was, and in all fairness, the person returned money to about a dozen people, and he said it was from a third party, whatever. I don't know, who knows what the deal is, but it dawned on me, that's when I was invited to that convention where I met Betsy, the big one in Meadowlands, and I was like, wow, there's thousands of people here, this is, what am I doing? So I kind of said, at that time I was bringing my reggae music, and some of these, hold on 1 second.
You're okay.
Okay.
Someone had a comment, right?
We're going to need to take a break in a minute, but anyway, so I realized, these were metalheads. That horror fans are into metal. Okay. Now, when I was in college, I knew a lot of punk. I was good friends with Dave Insurgent, who was the lead singer of a band called Reagan Youth, who's still out there, great punk band. And he wanted to learn about jazz. Yeah. I wanted to learn about rock. So he would bring me to all these shows. We would see Dead Kennedys. I saw Bad Brains. I saw White Zombie. And, so I started to kind of draw upon that. And so first Jason was created. Now, after that, I got help from members of the Cro-Mags and the band called Macabre, which is a great Chicago death metal band, and a bunch of bands. So I came out with my first album, Jason Is Watching, recorded in Chicago, and that went very well. And then I did Heed My Warning, and then I did Be a Monster. Our fourth album was called Lord of the Lake, and we did 2 videos. One's called Kill for Mother, and one's called Voorhees is the name. You can see those on YouTube. That got us a lot of attention. And, the whole time I've been dedicated to touring all over the country with my band. So we've played at big venues, small venues. We played at, Whiskey a Go-Go. We played at the Viper Room. We played all over the country. And,
what's the farthest away that you've gone to play? The farthest you've traveled to have a show?
Gosh, well, we have had the great privilege to perform in Barcelona, Spain, and in Orvieto, Italy, and in the UK, in Nottingham, UK. So when they open all that up again, that will be fantastic. But I do urge everybody to listen to our 2 new songs played in Texas. Yes, we played in Texas. As a matter of fact, last Halloween, we were in Katy, Texas at the Wildcatter Saloon, at the Wildcatter Saloon in Katy, Texas for Halloween, where they actually built a haunted maze to my merch booth, okay? But
Cool.
this year, we're back there again.
That's funny.
The Wildcatter, but we're opening for Doyle. So Doyle is going to be there. The great Doyle from the Misfits is the headliner now. And we're going to have a great time. It's going to be actually sponsored by Houston Horror Film Fest. So make sure you're a part of that. Yeah, First Jason benefits greatly from the open-heartedness and open-earedness of the metal and punk community. We play at these venues all over the country, and it's kind of a mutual validation thing because you've got these bands and they've got their tattoos and their piercings, and they might be at the edge of a cornfield somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Hello, okay? That's what's going on in the world today. And I come out there, and they are so happy to get their bands together, and we do kind of like a horror metal night and just do a meet and greet, and we have so much fun with it. So but as much as I'm validating them, they're validating me because we need them as much as they need us, or I hope they need us. But our two new songs that we got out there one is called The Scapegoat, okay, which has a very spiritual theme, and the other one is called The Price of Peace. So I hope that you guys can check those out. One thing that happened was there's a band out there called Ice Nine Kills, and Ice Nine Kills.
I know there.
Yeah, they have a huge following. Okay, so Spencer Charnas asked me to sing on the acoustic version of Thank God It's Friday. So then I asked him to sing on a remix of The Scapegoat. So he's singing on The Scapegoat Demon remix. So all of that is on Spotify. Just check out First Jason. And we're going to be doing a new music video for The Price of Peace soon. And we're going to actually be asking fans to be a part of that. We're going to have a big kind of a barbarian horde. So we want the fans to be in the barbarian horde.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
People, when they do casting calls for like fans, I always think that's just like a really cool thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Fans are in almost all our videos. If you check out Kill for Mother and Voorhees is the name, yeah, you'll see a bunch of fans.
So let's talk about.
Guys, can I take a break? I have to help somebody really quick. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Can I take a break? And I'm going to come back. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm getting a bad internet connection. Actually, does it sound like I'm like leaving or anything, or does it sound bad?
No, you're good.
Because it keeps telling me having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection, and I keep getting that. Like when I'm posting a comment to everyone, it keeps telling me that. So it's never happened before. That's weird.
You're good.
Adam, I summoned Adam.
So all of our people out there, what are y'all thinking about tonight's guest? See some comments. See what y'all think.
And also, everybody, don't forget to buy your tickets to go to FearFest Paracon. We need you to buy FearFest Paracon tickets because we need you to come see us. And the more people that come, the more cool guests we'll have.
Right. And spread the word on that. We need some. We're looking for vendors also. So if you guys know anybody,
definitely need some vendors.
Yep.
I feel like a sports broadcaster. And we need some vendors.
Oh God, I wish it was football season. I know that.
He's so entertaining.
Yeah, I wish football was all the time.
Sydney said, big horror fan.
Yeah.
And Josh said, great guest tonight. He's so entertaining. And Jason's being a dork and showing his crystal.
Tonight, guys. It's perfect for our guest and everything. So.
Well, cool. I have a blue solo cup, so yeah.
Friday the 13th.
It's named Blue Solo Cup.
I thought it was cool.
Yes. Josh is cool. Adam, are you still there? I summoned Adam to come in here because I thought he'd get a kick out of having like a rock band guest because he likes mom sign and stuff. And Ari seems like he's got a pretty heavy music style.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. It's cool to have him on for the horror aspect of things and for the Friday the 13th franchise and stuff. But yeah, like you said, he brings the music stuff too with his band, and that's really cool. We were lucky enough to have him on tonight. It was really cool that he agreed to come on. But and then Friday the 13th is such an iconic franchise. It's starting with him. He's the first. And that's really cool. And then to all the remakes and of course, you mentioned Kane Holder is probably the most famous person to play Jason that everybody likes. But that leads into a little bit more of the other horror icons. So I'll ask him about that too. I already kind of mentioned Freddie, but it's it's the whole world that he's involved in that's really cool.
Yeah, he's like lived an awesome life, being able to travel and all that stuff, and like get to actually experience all those different beliefs and religions and ceremonial, like moments of tribes and music and people speaking their language, their world language. Because I'm a big believer in like music is like one universal language, and if anyone doesn't get along, the one thing that does connect everyone to each other is their love for music, because everyone loves music.
Yeah, you can generally communicate some sort with music. It's like you said, it's something everybody understands, and you don't have to really speak the same language to get. So
Kane terrified me as Jason. He was ruthless and brutal.
yeah, I think that's part of why everybody likes him. I've never actually been able to meet him yet, but as much horror cons and stuff I've gone to. But people say that his big thing is when he takes pictures with you, he grabs your throat. That's like his thing. You like
That is
really
cool. Funny.
So
I've seen a lot of pictures of Ari, and he has like a lot of photos of him with a machete.
Yes,
Cool.
it's funny because here in my office here where I'm at, I got kind of a Jason Voorhees wall over there, and some of the stuff from when I met him was up there on that wall when I took pictures with him, and he signed some stuff for me. So it was really cool getting to meet him. Like everybody's seeing, he's a very interesting guy. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I'm wearing my Waverly Hills hoodie, by the way.
I'm just wearing a random shirt.
Uh,
He said, I thought he said, I'd be afraid.
yeah.
And Adam said, I thought he stopped grabbing throats when he took photos. Maybe he did. Maybe he got in trouble or someone would threaten to body slam him or something.
I just know that supposedly is like his trademark. Like when he takes pictures with people, I don't know. Like he apparently he really put some pressure on you too, is what I understand. So.
What is y'all's favorite scary movies? Crowd. I'm wearing
keep it a little old school with us here about the 80s and stuff.
I'm wearing a pizza
t-shirt. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. My throat. Yeah. She's funny. You're crazy like me, Sydney. You're crazy like me. I like your crazy. I was crazy once. And Adam said he's sad he's not going to get to see Rammstein, but you're going to get to see us instead, and you'll still get to see Rammstein. It'll just be later than it was already going to be.
Yeah. So. Hey, we're cool. Okay. So
yeah. So, do you guys, any of you guys, y'all actually remember the part where he was in the movie? I do. I've looked at the photos or whatever. The part that it showed maybe at the end of the movie, he was kind of reiterating it, but Adam wasn't here when he said that, and he was describing what happened or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the most iconic parts of Friday the 13th is that the end of that movie, really.
Yeah. Yep. And when he comes back up out of the water.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because it just kind of sets it in motion for the rest of them. Like he said, there wasn't going to be more, apparently. So, thankfully that changed because some of those, movies in the Friday the 13th franchise are really good. Some of them aren't good, but some of them, there are some that are.
That is not my phone. That is not my laptop. I mean, that is Jason. Jason.
What?
That's you. Beeping. That's really loud. The beeping.
I'm not beeping.
Oh, yeah, it is. Your phone. You got a message.
No,
Anyhow.
Guys, stop texting me. It's not funny during the show.
Watch this.
Are you texting me?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I can see you doing that. You were talking about more like when wearing my Ford hat.
What's Ari's thoughts on Jason Takes Manhattan? And when he comes back, we'll ask him. I'll remember that question.
About?
Sets the stage, an iconic scene. This question.
Yeah.
I sent somebody an invite. Come on.
I tell you that my thoughts on that is not good. He'd probably say the same thing. Like everybody just remembers him. He kicks that stereo at that guy's hand or something with that stereo. I can't really remember, but that's probably the best part of that movie.
Yeah. So we were trying to get the first Jason official to come to the Paracon. You guys should tell them that they should come when he comes back on. Tell him that we need to see him at the Paracon. That he needs to come there and he can do autographs and photos with everybody and meet all of us. And there will probably be a lot of people that will come and recognize him, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've already discussed this with Ari, and we're working on it. So yeah, you guys put some pressure on him, like you said.
Also, I hope y'all saw earlier at 1:30, I did an interview with Kaylee Love, and it is on the same page here, and it's also on. No, it's not. It's not on this page. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's on Paranormal United Network's first page, not the second one, but the first one. It's also on Night Terror Collective's team page, and it's also on my personal page. And it was a really good interview. She's a really interesting person. She's from Wales, and she organizes a lot of different paranormal events there. She's starting out with small groups because she said there's not a huge following there, actually, that it's not as big of a deal there, and it's a public place. So she's starting out with smaller groups she started out at 2-hour tours, and then they worked their way up to like longer tours.
You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like we need to go to UK.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've been thinking about that because I have already some friends in Wales and some friends in UK and friends in England.
We can bring the paranormal to them.
How about you guys? Is there anybody y'all would like to see be brought on our shows if we can get a hold of them? Because we've tried to contact some people like he tried to contact England, Robert England.
Oh yes, Robert England. Yeah, it plays Freddy Krueger. Everybody knows that.
And we tried to get a hold of Cindy Causa.
Yep, Cindy.
Here we go.
We'll see on that.
Hey, we have a surprise. It's Adam.
Oh, I can see. He's got a little picture. Couldn't really tell.
I think he thought you were going to be Ari, and he was like, "Did you shave all your hair off? Did you cut your hair off?" Because I didn't tell him I did that. I just did it. What's up?
Nothing. Just, like I said, I'm still a little bummed out. Rammstein got postponed until next year, so.
Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed. Sorry, Sydney said something, and that's really the number one. I've been telling Jason that we have to get them on the show. Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Sydney, that's probably we're gonna work on that. I don't want to let anything.
Can you see the comments, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
Yeah, now I can see him.
Hey, Adam, you know what's not canceled? Fear Fest.
Fear Fest.
The thing.
Well, let's hope it's not canceled.
Nah, no.
No,
It's
it
not
won't be canceled. Rain or shine, unless something blows that building down, it's going to go on.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be big.
I
Josh
hope so.
said-
I'm excited.
Yes, it will. I mean, we still have like 4 months until it happens, but it's going to be awesome. There's still a lot of things that are in the works too, so a lot more surprises to be popping up, and be made aware, announced or whatever.
Right.
And Josh said, "Hey, it'll be better next year, anyways." Rammstein.
I hope so, because, like I said, I saw him in 2012, and I had been waiting to see him last year, and now I gotta wait again. And yeah, so I've been sad all day ever since I found out this morning. So
Well,
I like your back there, your little spaceship and
Oh yeah,
Bigfoot. Is that a Bigfoot back there?
talking about our banner. That's our Not Terror Collective banner back there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's just our logo and our information and all that stuff. So
Oh, okay. I'm not sure you can see my Bigfoot back there. Somewhere back there. Or try to hang this better.
okay.
My Bigfoot and Back to the Future stuff.
No, cool. Yeah, Back to the Future. That's cool.
Really big fan of Back to the Future.
Love Back to the Future. Sydney said she's in Manhattan Airport, so she needs a way to get to Salina. Girl, we get you there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out and make sure you get there for sure.
Mm-hmm. If I have to give you a piggyback ride, I'll get you there.
I didn't even think about that, going. I mean,
how are you gonna get
my flight?
Either that, or you gotta get there somehow. You could transport. You could call the aliens since they're making themselves more known now. You can ask them if they'll bring you because they might want to show up there.
Right? have them come down and be like, "Hey guys, I brought some friends."
Here we go. Watch. Hey, we have an extra person.
Hey.
Hey.
We have a guest. It's one of the people that watches our show a lot. Yeah, are you poking him? And we decided I just sent him an invite and brought him on. Surprise.
Stay down.
That's really cool. That's what it's all about. When's the last time you saw? What's your name?
I'm Adam.
Adam. When's the last time you saw Friday the 13th?
Don't ask me that.
No,
when I came out of the womb.
Are you not a horror fan? It's okay if you're not a
horror.
Well,
no, but I was gonna say, to be honest, those movies don't do nothing for me. I don't get scared.
That's cool. That's okay. No, that's my standard question I ask people. I didn't mean to.
That's funny.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, man.
I know, no, that's one thing. Don't ask. So, but no, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I haven't seen Freddy Krueger either.
Yes, that makes me feel great.
Okay, so.
Or that Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I've seen the very first one. That's about it.
Oh, you saw that one. That's Nick Castle playing Michael Myers. He's a really cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
Where do I know that name from? He's also something else. He's done something else.
He's most famous for being Michael Myers.
Yeah, mainly.
Or the Shape. He's called the Shape too.
Correct. Yeah.
The Shape.
Because that was like the character name, really.
Oh, originally.
It wasn't Michael Myers necessarily. It was.
I think I read a documentary or something about that.
Yeah, Halloween was first, as a matter of fact, and Nick Castle, arrived on set with he didn't know that he was ever going to play. He was actually a production assistant. He was not, or something along those lines, and a friend of somebody who was I guess, higher up along the line. And at some point they said, okay, we need this character, the Shape. And they just, boom, they had, Nick just did a great job. But yeah, Nick's a really sweet hippie guy, just like me. See, that's who plays the scariest monsters.
That's funny. So misconceiving.
But that kind of led me into one of the questions I was wanting to ask you, like what you thought about the other horror icons like Michael Myers and Freddie and so on, like in the movie franchises and what they become.
Leatherface.
Oh, Leatherface actually came even before Friday the 13th and Michael Myers. So you could say Texas Chainsaw Massacre was particularly one of the originators of the whole mess, if you will. But I love slasher movies. I think there's a difference.
He wasn't really seen as much as a slasher though as you were.
There's a difference between a slasher film and a horror film. Now, Friday the 13th, honored to be in, was a horror film because, of course, as we all know, it's the mom is the killer, and that's not really revealed until way into the movie. So that's a horror movie where there's a mystery. But a slasher movie, we know who the killer is, and it's more about how the kills are done and that kind of thing. Yes, but I do think if I was to single out any of the slasher family, it would be the character that Doug Bradley made famous, which is truly known as Hell Priest, but often known as Pinhead.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Hellraiser.
Yes.
And I think Hellraiser is a great series. I think Hellraiser is a great series, and it's got a lot of wonderful underworld and occult things, and it's very goth stylized. And but I have a good anecdote there because I was honored to be able to meet a lot of these great actors, and we were eating lunch together actually in Pittsburgh. We were eating lunch in Pittsburgh, me and Pinhead, Jason and Pinhead having a sandwich. And so I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. So I told Doug, and I'm kind of a fanboy kind of guy. So I was all like, "Oh man, you're awesome! I think you're so great. I love Hellraiser series." And he said, "Well, Ari, I love you, but I don't love Friday the 13th." And I said, "What? Why? Tell me, what's the difference? What's the difference?" And he had a point because he said, "You see, in your film, you play this cadaver that comes to life and then just disappears again." And he said, "But in Hellraiser, I play this cadaver that comes up out of the floorboards and asks you for a cigarette and then asks you for a drink and then asks you for even more." So, it's a whole other approach to
Right.
Was he saying he was needy?
Well, it's the character. It's that main character, of course, in Hellraiser who comes up out of the floorboards, and that's just
he was more demanding. You just wanted.
Yeah, he was
revenge.
super needy. Yes, you're right.
Revenge.
What was his problem? Yeah, you're right. Stand up on your own too. Get your own cigarettes.
Yeah.
It was the chic trench coat. That's what it was. like the trench coat that, like, I don't know if you call it a bodysuit or a trench coat. It's like a trench suit,
Yeah.
Like Neo, like the guy from Matrix. The guys, all of them.
Neo. Neo from Matrix. Yeah.
They're tight too. I bet they're uncomfortable as crap.
Well, the outfit that I got to wear on Friday the 13th was extremely comfortable.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, maybe not the facial part or the teeth. The teeth were not good. They didn't really fit. So I had to kind of wear them and then remove them. Yeah. We're in Chicago, by the way. Those are real
Were they like the Bubba teeth?
No. They were dentures that had been, carefully crafted by the great Tom Savini. But they didn't exactly fit. So,
Crystal.
but other than that, I was having a blast the whole time.
I think one of your fans might be on here.
Night Tales?
Night Tales, what's going on? Yeah,
They're calling for Ari, not for us.
Oh, they're calling for you. They're checking out. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's and you never know who's tuning in. To a paranormal show.
Mm-hmm.
It could be all sorts of levels of.
We're like a lighthouse. We invite all the weirdos to come out at night.
No, I was referring. I love the weirdos, but I was referring to other beings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. The ones that
Is there a
always
spirit? Is there an internet of the afterlife? I wonder.
Huh. It's a good question.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
Hope dies last.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
I said I love you, Sydney. It was me. There's so many people that are posting as the Paranormal United Network. She's like, which one of you said that? There's like 4 of us.
Well, I have something that I hope you all love is that I believe that those who dwell among the dead can never die, and I live in this wonderful city of Chicago, and there's so much amazing history here, and I'm privileged to live right near Graceland Cemetery, where some of the greatest artists and Daniel Burnham and Louis Sullivan and you've got Marshall Fields and all of them are buried right here in the most amazing, absolutely beautiful mausoleums and
I love mausoleums.
But the architecture is absolutely beautiful, and so after living here for a while, I also made some friends who were very knowledgeable about gangland history and all this amazing kind of dark history that's been happening in Chicago, and so thus I'm beginning this program, which I'll announce right now to all of you, which is called Chicago Stories. You see that? Chicago Stories. Chicago Stories with the GHOST really big. So you follow me? And there's so much. See, we're not ghost hunters though. We're not paranormal investigators as much as kind of history reporters and just making people aware of, hey, did you know you're living in this place where this amazing thing happened? And the more that I get to explore the cemeteries in Chicago, it is absolutely mind-blowing. There's just so much history there. And as I'm sure you all know, it's all about the lives of the people.
I didn't know you lived in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm right here, right by Graceland Cemetery.
One of my favorite people in existence is from Chicago. Do you know who Billy Corgan is?
Which one?
Billy Corgan?
Oh, yeah, of course, Billy Corgan.
He's one of my favorite people in the world.
He had a house not far from here. It's like, he doesn't live there anymore, but when he lived there, he painted it like purple and gold. And
of course he did.
Yeah.
Like the moon or the sky at nighttime. He's really interesting. Like, he is a really smart person. He's really got an open mind.
Oh yeah.
Y'all are kind of similar in personality and y'all's ideas and theories and how y'all have traveled a lot and you like religions and spirituality. He's kind of like that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I met him once. One time.
Really?
I can't say I really know him closely, but he's a very cool guy.
Since I was in high school, I've always just been enthralled by him. I don't know why he's bald and tall and he's not even good looking. He's just cool.
But he exudes a certain presence, a certain a kind of a Loki. He's like a Loki-like character, He's powerfully mischievous.
Yeah, he is. Go ahead.
What do you think about the Comic Con and the horror scene, the Paracons, and the fans and everything that come up to you? Like, what do you like? How do you approach that? What's your thoughts?
I think that without the fans, there's nothing. I think that that's what it's all about. It's all about the interaction with the fans, and I'm totally humbled.
That's why Adam's on here.
Yep.
I'm totally humbled
That's
every
right.
time, I've been able to do. Now recently, more and more of these kind of collectibles shops and even toy shops and sci-fi horror shops I've been doing a lot, because as we tour with the band, I'm able to go here and there. Like I'll be at one in St. Louis at the end next weekend, or near St. Louis next weekend. I was at Destination Toys, and I love those events, of course, because I'm the only celebrity there. So it affords me a unique opportunity to really interact with the fans, and it's very humbling when people come out, and because I'm getting as much from them as they're getting from me. It's so much fun to meet everybody. Now the original horror convention scene was different than it's become. Not that I think that it's still a fun scene for sure, especially in certain cases. Now, I remember back in the day when it was more about just promoting movies, and we would do a lot of events as opposed to just kind of having a lot of tables where everybody's selling a lot of stuff. I think sometimes it can become like a giant shop. And I want to be an entertainer. That's why I always say, okay, I'm bringing first Jason. I'm bringing an experience where people can have fun. At my table, for instance, I sell hot sauce. Okay, I
saw that.
All natural hot sauce. Mm-hmm. I sell, of course, T-shirts and music, and of course, photos and standard things. But I try to make it a little different so that people go home and they have something that they really can treasure and value. Now, let's face it, I was Jason for a very short number of minutes. I was so for me, when I get to meet with some of these people, usually our meeting is far longer than the amount of time that I'm on screen. I hasten to add.
That's funny.
Hasten to add that if you look at the number of people that I've scared in the number of seconds on screen, I could have, a kind of world's record. If you look at, I don't know, proportionately, I don't know, like number of people per second scared. If there is, I don't know if it exists, but I love meeting the fans personally. I really, really, really love meeting the fans. I do hope that the conventions can kind of, do more stuff like film festivals, music festivals, get those horror artists up there, make it fun for everybody. Let's learn about special effects. Let's, because I can't understand, if someone comes to an event, now they're paying to get there, they're paying to get in, they're paying to the first table they go to, they pay. The second table they go to. Now, what if they have 3 kids with them or something? Daddy, I want this. Daddy, I want how, that. I don't know how that. I would rather see the kind of environment wherein everybody, is free to just have fun, and then maybe like sometimes over in Europe, in UK and Germany, what they do is it's like they have an event, but then they say, okay, Mr. Kruger, Mr. England will be signing from 2 to 3 o'clock, to 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's more organized like that. And I think that the emphasis should be on fun. All the cosplayers out there, they're having cosplayers. Let the cosplayers have fun. Do a cosplay contest. Do a kids cosplay thing. I'm not too into. I gotta say this, and I know I should say slightly controversial things. What I'm saying is, like, I don't know, but like when you have a celebrity doing cosplay in the character costume. You know what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
Jason. They've been doing that a lot. I dig that. But why don't you let somebody who's all into cosplay do that? And then the actor can stand there because there's the actor's face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Now, in some cases, you could see the actor's face, so it's different. Like different ones. Like I saw Danielle
Whatever
Harris
character it
did one. That made more sense to me because here she is. Okay, I get it. And that's just fun. But that's just me. I'm saying let's do our best to oh, thank you. That's who you're talking. Hey, our show in Canton was amazing. Rock and roll. That was so much fun. That was a great show.
That's one of your
That
fans.
so much
You had
fun.
another
Oh,
fan
wow.
too. There was another guy in here. That
That's
was one of
your
your
local
fans.
class. We played at the Buzzbin in Canton. Oh, and this is Night
Yeah.
Tales. I know this is. This is a show. I think I did an interview for them. Oh, it's all a blur, but yeah, the Buzzbin in Canton, Ohio. That was a fantastic show. Yeah, that was just yeah. First, Jason is greatly loved in the hinterlands, and everywhere we can go, that's where we want to go. As a matter of fact, aren't we coming down to Salina? How do you pronounce that? In Kansas?
Yeah.
I think we are. Okay.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah, we're working
Yeah.
on it. If we don't do it this time, we'll do it next time. Trust me.
Oh,
We-
it's Bigfoot
We
Anonymous.
played everywhere. We played in Warren, Pennsylvania recently, and there was a crowd. We love it. We played out in Havre de Grace, Maryland. That's what we love to do. There's so many great theaters. Now you want to talk. You want to open up a topic for paranormal people and lovers of the paranormal, which will take us right through. It's all of those theaters across this country. Like, for instance, I just played at the State Theater in Havre de Grace, Maryland, okay, which is in this little harbor town. And that theater had been abandoned for 17 years. And at one point, it was a church. And the kids who took it over, they're all volunteers, and they did a magnificent job of restoration, okay? But what I'm saying is every time I go in those places, and I'm sure you all feel this, you feel the energy, you feel the presence of
Yeah, I know
when
what
you're
you mean.
walking the boards, and you feel that on the stage. And there's certain areas I've noticed if I'm standing in certain areas where there was a lot of traffic at one point and a lot of happy emotion, then you feel this kind of feeling. And in
You
that,
relive it. Like you're reliving it almost.
I was in like for instance, here I'll give this one to you. The Melody Inn in Indianapolis. I was in there. So see, I don't know. See, sometimes I think we can surprise them because everybody was in the other room and it was the end of the concert and everybody was there. They were getting a drink. It was at the show. It was Melody Inn. Everybody's having a good time. And I have my keytar, my famous weapon-looking keytar. So
keytar?
Yeah, I play a heavy metal keytar.
Oh my gosh. No one ever says
keytar.
keytar.
So I'm famous for playing this wicked instrument. So I took my keytar and I went in the dressing room to put it down. And there's these people, they're sitting around this table and they're laughing and they're having beers. And I look over and I'm just like, yeah. So I put my keytar down and I turn around to say hi to these people and there's nobody there.
What?
Oh, wow.
I heard this voice. I thought it was Lemmy. Because Lemmy has this gravelly kind of voice, he's like, oh. And I thought he was like, hey, Ari, a great show, something like that. Someone had this gravelly voice. Now, so I went out to the bartender. I said to the bartender, oh my God, I just saw some people, who weren't there. And he goes, wait, it was in the dressing room. I said, yes. And he goes, look, because there was some investigators here 2 months ago. And he said, look, they found him. And then I said, and there was someone with a gravelly voice. He goes, wait, a gravelly voice? Come back with me and he showed me this picture of this lady. He said, this is the lady who owned this place. and she had throat cancer and had to use one of those things. She would love to her voice.
Oh my gosh, you do such a good impersonation of that.
And when I was there a second time, we were just there 2 weeks ago. And sure enough, I started talking about this, and there was people who had seen, who had, experienced the same thing. So I think that many times when I go to these theaters, especially to the big old theaters, you feel some energy,
Yeah.
Sure.
Plus, the theater's been in so many years, and so many bodies have been through there, and so much great energy has been on that stage, probably too. So it's probably got a really hotbed, just charge of lots of energy.
Yeah. And in a certain mental state, when you're on stage and you're, in a certain presence, and you could even be, in a kind of, that kind of heightened emotional state, which I don't know. What is it about that? Whenever I feel that sort of energy, that's where I connect to it. So I guess I'm sort of.
Is it high vibration?
Yeah, I can feel the energy of somebody who's not there anymore. But I feel
residual. It's residual.
Yeah, so I was going to say, it's not a residual of the emotion.
Yeah, it's residual, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
it's like a stain, like an emotional stain that won't come out, that just has sat into the building, and it's in every atom and every molecule of the building, and it's going to stay there.
Yeah.
You can relive and feel it again and connect with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, so I guess I'm good at. I can observe those things well, which is good. I'm not necessarily hunting, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? You feel that energy.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, talking about this kind of energy, or not specifically that kind of energy, but that, I've been to many concerts before, but going to.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Go on. They were asking if I have someone who I slightly resemble, but.
Oh, they're laughing at this comment that's on the screen.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Oh my God, I just figured it out, Jeremy. Sorry. What are you saying, Matt? They were laughing at my comment that I put on the screen. Sorry.
Sorry, Adam, but that's fine.
Go ahead. Adam, go ahead.
It's not the first time someone said that, but come on now. I don't really look like Ron. Come on. Let's go off this.
What are you saying, Adam?
Are you talking about what? I don't know.
Someone asked if he was Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh.
The dirty movie star?
Yeah.
From the sublime to the ridiculous. No, it's okay. Comedy is important. Comedy is crucial. Comedy is crucial.
Adam, say your question one more time.
Whose question?
Adam, do you have a question?
Talking about something residual? Were you asking a residual energy question?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
it's long gone. I'm anyways.
It's still there residually.
We have a little bit of time left. I want to just ask you what you think the legacy of the franchise of Friday the 13th has, and what do you think the future's got for it?
Well, I think that Friday the 13th enjoys this celebration because of the fans. It's really the fans who have made the legacy what it is, because every time it's passed to a new production team. So really, and if you look at each Friday the 13th, it kind of reflects the time period. At one time it was about, the naughty counselors, and then later on it was kind of took on a Buffy the Vampire Slayer tinge. And
I love Buffy.
There's part 7 with Tina, the psychic girl, and Kane Hodder's first entrance, and then when it came time, for Star Wars and Star Trek, and Jason went into outer space, and then Freddie versus Jason. So I think that where does it go from here? Jason's got to take on some technology. Here we are on, modern technology. Jason doesn't talk, but he could text, I think. He could text you.
He doesn't have to talk to text, I guess, right?
He'd be like,
Well,
turn around, LOL. I'm right
one
behind you.
question.
Just kidding. I'm sorry. Yes, Adam.
Is Jason the guy with the hockey mask?
Yes, sir. He is. Thank you. I played the baby Jason, though, Adam. I played the very first Jason, the boy in the lake Jason.
I would have to check out how many movies are there?
There are more than 12. There should be, and
there's probably about 15 if you include the Jason versus Freddie and the Jason X or whatever.
Adam's question is justifiable. It's not until the third Friday the 13th, part 3, that the hockey mask is worn first by the Shelley character played by Larry Zerner, but then when Jason, played by Richard Brooker, kills him, he takes the mask away. So that's in part 3, which was in 1983. Yeah. And and that's another person we could talk about who got his wings right there. The great Richard Brooker, who was an amazing, amazing soul and was just loved his friends and he was an amazing person. He was also he directed 10 episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy. He got an Academy Award for developing technology that predated cloud technology, and he was a championship polo player.
Really?
Yes. And I often, and here you paranormal people will love this. I often hear him. He also he used to love to tease me all the time, because he was the big Jason. So, sometimes because they asked me to sign a hockey mask, but I didn't wear the hockey mask. So I'll hear Richard in my ear sometimes. Ari, you didn't wear the mask, Ari. You didn't wear the mask.
That's funny.
I've seen him sometimes. I'm running at a convention with massive machetes.
You get to claim being the first Jason, but I get to claim being the first hockey mask, okay, sucker?
Oh, yeah. No, he teases me from beyond the grave.
With that being said, we talk about that Jason. Who would you say is the favorite Jason?
Oh, man. Go on now. I mean, I know the one the fans love the most, who I love, but I love them all. I think every Jason was amazing. I mean, Ted White, okay, he was John Wayne's stunt double for 17 years. He's probably out hunting now, and he's in his 90s. C.J. Graham, who was just an amazingly super nice person, part 6 Jason. Everybody loves CJ. Then Kane Hodder came in. He loves to choke his fans, and he's
yeah. We were talking about him while you were on a break. Everyone was talking about Kane.
Everybody loves Kane Hodder. I mean, come on. And then you got Ken Kersinger, who played in Freddie versus Jason, who's the tallest of all, and the Canadian Jason. And of course, you got Derek Mears, the gentle giant, who is now from the remake. But he's also played so many roles in Hollywood. Most notably, recently, he did a fantastic job on Swamp Thing. He did an amazing
Oh, wow. Really? Swamp Thing?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's a classic.
TV show.
So he's which is kind of in between the world of superhero and horror. So, who knows where Jason's future lies.
Would he be an anti-hero?
Wait, you guys you could tell the future.
We have a time traveling machine, aka psychic mediums on Paranormal United Network.
Well, maybe that's part of it too. Jason gets in a time traveling machine. He goes into the future, comes back, and fights himself. I don't know.
Or he's reincarnated as Leatherface. I don't know.
No.
And he thinks he's Jason, but then he looks in the mirror and he's like, dude, I'm Leatherface. I'm not Jason. What
Freaky
happened?
Friday, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I have a person's face on my face.
Identity crisis.
Rosie,
Yeah.
how we doing? How we doing, Tom?
We are actually at the marker, but what we like to do at the end is to let our guests tell everyone what social media platforms they can
Thank you
find
so much.
you on for your band and for your
Yeah.
personal use.
Yeah.
Yep.
First Jason is on Spotify. Check out our new song, The Scapegoat and The Price of Peace. Also, check us out on YouTube. We've got the new songs, new videos up there. It's Kill for Mother, and Voorhees is the name. And we're going to be touring again all throughout the country. We're going back out in August, September, and we're opening for Doyle in October at Katy, Texas at the Wildcatter Saloon. But just check out firstjason.com and, check in and say hi at First Jason Official on Facebook. And you know what? Tell me, that you watch this show, okay? And then we can talk about it online, okay? And you can tell me.
You just
all
have
your
a fan that just
paranormal experiences.
came on, I think. One of your fans
Also-
just came on. Gorecast?
Machete is my friend. Dude, all nil. I speak in steel. This is the seventh steel. I wield on battlefield. My wrath will be revealed. Thank you.
Is that one of your songs?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Machete is my friend. Yes.
That's cool.
I'm gonna make a stand. Machete in my hand.
I'm just telling everybody good night.
Machete is my friend. Okay.
You gotta come back on sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
This is
Future
been a
for real.
blast.
Yeah,
is
it was.
fantastic.
Everybody loved it too.
Oh,
Spectral Sailor.
So now you have new
Okay,
fans.
Sailor. I'm glad to come aboard, and next time I'll take another voyage with you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
hopefully by that time I'll
Thank
be movie.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Adam.
Thank you. Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Stay safe.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.
And we're still live.